glad you're here. I wanted to take a few minutes and just talk to you about the brain and meditation. I first became interested in neuroscience as a grad student studying speech language pathology. And we were told back then, this was a long time ago, 1980s, mid-80s, we were told back then that the brain was malleable or plastic for just a short period of time, from 0 to 5, and then up to 25 for the full adult brain to be established, which is why I still did stupid things in my early 20s. But anyway, so 20 years ago, a little over 20 years ago, I started practicing meditation, primarily because I had some physical health issues and a lot of anxiety. And honestly, I just really wanted to get closer to God. But what I didn't know is that my brain was being rewired at that time for more peacefulness. So I literally did have less anxiousness. So about 8 years ago, I got very interested in this neuroscience on the brain. I did a lot of reading, a lot of research, several books I'd like to mention. Train Your Mind, Change Your Brain by Sharon Begley. And that's some information that the Dalai Lama was instrumental in bringing research in our country. And another one was The Mindful Brain by Siegel. And the one, probably the second most instrumental, was How God Changes the Brain. And that was by Andrew Newberg and Mark Waldman. And what their studies were showing is that as little as 12 minutes a day of meditation is enough to start this rewiring of their brain. They discovered that there's a specific neurological circuit that generates peacefulness and social awareness and compassion for others. It also gives you more of an awareness of a sense of acceptance and tolerance, because during the practice, you are focusing on the love and compassion of God. So there's 3 things that are very effective in helping with brain wiring. The first one is your attention. You have to pay attention to, in the practice of meditation, your attention is to focus on God. Your intention is important as well, because your intention can also start neurological circuits to growing together, firing and wiring together for your loving kindness, compassion, etc. The second thing that's important, once you got your attention and your intention, is repetition. The more you repeat an activity, the more likely you will continue to do it. It becomes a habit. The brain wiring occurs. The third thing is it needs to be something enjoyable. So that's important. You want the practice to be enjoyable. It's the same thing with a physical sport. Let's say you wanted to learn football and you really loved it. So you had to focus on the activity you were doing. You had to repeat it, called practice, and you had to enjoy it or dance. I had one daughter, I have 2 daughters, and one of them, they were both dancers. And I said, well, maybe I can get one of them to do something with sports, like a ball. Not that dance is not a sport. But she tried basketball and tennis, and she just came to me one day and she said, Mom, I just don't want to play any sports that has anything to do with the ball. And I said, okay, I will try rowing. But anyway, she was a great dancer. Again, it's a practice. She enjoyed dancing, okay? It's the same thing with meditation. You'll need to find the meditation practice that fits your personality. And that's why I teach a variety of skills, anything from sitting meditation to walking meditation to dancing. Yes, dance can also be a meditation practice and a sport. Anyway, so as I'm saying, I guess you're hearing that meditation is a trained skill, just like any other skill. All right, that's important to understand. You're not going to be expected to sit down at your first session and just go, yay, I'm good at this. It's a training, and that's what I teach. So what happens is as you focus and attend to a loving God during the practice, it decreases the activity in the part of the brain that's responsible for fear and anger and anxiousness and all the other afflictive emotions and thoughts. It decreases the activity in that part of your brain, and it increases activity in the part of your brain called the prefrontal cortex, which is right here. That's the part of your brain that's responsible for insight, intuition, compassion, empathy, love. It's also rational thinking and planning and moderating your emotions. But that's the part of the brain that gets stimulated when you're doing the practice. So basically, the longer you're in the practice, the longer you're deactivating the anger, the anxiousness, and the anxiety that can come up, your fight, flight, or freeze response. So we do have a guide. As Christians, we have a guide with this. And Jesus came to change the world. And if we follow his examples on how to cultivate silence, which we'll talk about in another video, cultivating silence and listening for God, not only is our world changed, but our brains are too. So at every one of my events, Take 12 events, I teach information about the brain and how meditation changes it. And so I would like to invite you to schedule or attend an event. We have some listed on the website, so where you can come, and we're doing it online now, and you can come and you can experience rest and renewal and rewiring. Thank you.